You have other things to do.
He was up at 3:30.
Well, he had another reason.
I'm trying.
How are you?
I'm very good.
I don't know if you remember me. I was team trainer for the basketball team. Kirk Brown. Yeah. How you doing?
A lot, man. Well, probably thanks to your training.
Kept them all. No, hardly. Yeah.
My goodness.
This is exciting for you guys.
Up there. Okay, well, I didn't want to get that in Chattown. No?
Ladies and gentlemen, may we please have your attention to begin our halftime ceremony. Welcome to a very special night in the history of Newman University as we celebrate our rich athletics tradition. Tonight we congratulate the charter members of the Newman Athletic Hall of Fame. Each inductee has had a significant impact on our institution, laying the foundation for current and continued success of Newman University and its athletic department. Please join us as we honor our outstanding inductees and turn your attention to center court, where athletic directors Kevin Llewellyn will present each inductee with an individually engraved crystal to commemorate their induction. Sister Sylvia Borges, and is represented by Sister Jan Lentz, ASC, United States Regional Leader. Sister Sylvia Borges was being inducted posthumously after passing away last September at the age of 93. While her accomplishments at Sacred Heart College were just a part of her life of service, they are significant. The City League. At Sacred Heart, Herman coached the basketball team for 2 years and served as the school's first athletic director for 5 years. Backward also developed a college basketball all-star game, the Pizza Hut Classic, which raised funds for Sacred Heart athletic development. After leaving Newman, Herm worked in public relations for Pizza Hut and invested in a number of successful business ventures. Congratulations, Herm. Baseball coaches. One of his many highlights included coaching the 1983 Newman baseball team to the NAIA World Series. Sanagorski also served as an instructor, assistant basketball coach, head women's golf coach, athletics director, and intramural director during his time at Newman. In 2000, Sanagorski left Newman to work in professional baseball, his true calling. He currently serves as a hitting coach for the AA Carolina Mudcats, which is part of the Florida Marlins organizations. Congratulations, Paul. The 1971 men's basketball team holds a permanent place in school history as the first team to qualify for a national tournament. The Jets were the ultimate Cinderella story, winning their district tournament by upsetting national power Benedictine College and then defeating arch rival Friends in the championship game. City. Many members of that history-making team are here with us tonight. Gentlemen, please step forward when your name is read. Head coach Rick Reinberg.
Give it our little cat pill and
Mike Bayer. Paul Carney. Larry Dosser. Elmer Peters. Amos McClooney. Kurt Podlinski. Jim Ream. Barry Rudy. Willie Starks. Brad Vaughn. And Joe White. Congratulations, guys.
Shut it off and record.
Dr. Mike Bayer. For more than 30 years after his career at Sacred Heart ended, Bayer is still the school's leading scorer with 2,117 points. He also holds the all-time record with 933 rebounds. Mike was also known as a tenacious defender. Following his time at Sacred Heart, Bayer earned a degree in chemistry at the University of Kansas and later graduated from medical school at KU. He did his orthopedic training at UCLA and was a successful surgeon in Southern California until recently, when he co-founded the Free Wheelchair Mission, which raises funds to provide free wheelchairs to the physically disabled in developing countries around the globe. Mike is the first student athlete to have his jersey and number retired by Newman University. Congratulations, Dr. Bayer, and another congratulations to all inaugural inductees to the Newman Athletic Hall of Fame. Your contributions are valued and will be permanently remembered with a beautiful mural now on display in gorgeous atrium at the entrance to Fugate Gymnasium. Thank you and congratulations.
Was far beyond what anyone could ever have imagined. Got invited to the district playoffs, and as a fourth seed, they only took 4 teams. St. Benedict's was the #1 seed, and they're in the All-American playing form, and they played the first night, and I don't think they knew what to expect.
he didn't pass.
And then the second night,
That wasn't him, though.
played Friends, who received #2. who had beaten us the first game of the year. They've only lost 3 games on the year, and we beat them for the district title. Had a lot of fun carrying on the next.
On to Kansas City, where we played Whittier College. And the thing I think I remember most about that evening was walking into the old municipal auditorium, 15,000 seats. I remember sitting up in the top deck, watching our ball game, and just cheering our heads off during the entire game. Sorry to say we came out not as winners, but we had a damn good job.
The reason we had success is because Rick was so detailed that he had us do all the little things you had to do to win. And he was very meticulous on the way he approached each and every game. Rick did a great job on scouting each team too. He did most of the scouting and maybe had a little bit of help. And Rick was just tremendous at knowing the strengths and the weakness of your opposition. And he just assessed everything, did a good job of breaking that down, and it led to pretty good success that year.
Coach of that very special 71 team, Rick Ryan.
I think before we get started, I'd like to have the players join me on the stage. Please come up when I read your name. I'd like to start with student assistants at first, or the year of 1970 season. Amos McCloney. Amos had played for us 2 years previous and was a star player. Kurt Bitlinski. Brad Baum. Joe White. Paul Carney. Barry Rudy. Jim Rain. Larry Doctor. Willie Starks. Mike Bayer. And Elmer Peters. Other players on our team that year that could not be with us tonight, sent their best, was Len Ham, Mike Wislow, and Jack Cole. I'd like to first of all congratulate all of this year's inductees into the inaugural Hall of Fame. And to say thanks to Kevin and the committee for their selection. It's a great honor for our team. I'd also like to take a moment and personally say thanks to Herm Beckler, who I also love. Herman, from the time I came to Wichita, Kansas, was my mentor. But I learned more than X's and O's. be a good college. He had a great influence on Newman University. He set high standards for excellence. Thinking back to what I was going to say tonight, I remember that the year 1970 was our fourth year of existence. The three previous were all successful, but we faced a real task that fall. We had lost 75% of our scores from the previous year through graduation. We only returned 3 or 4 players. Jim Reed was a senior, Elmer Peters, Mike Bader, and Larry Knox was a sophomore. We had 4 new additions. Barry Rudy joined us from junior college in Oklahoma. Willie Starks from Dodge City, St. Mary's of the Plain. And Mike Bayer, Brad Baum was a freshman from Illinois, and Lynn Ham from Phoenix. We really just didn't know what to expect. We've been, I think, the last previous 2 years with the talent we had. But after 3 or 4 weeks of practice, we could see that we had making something special. We had a group that played extremely hard, played together. There were no egos on this team. We just wanted to do what it took to win. And we saw that in early October. Jim was our leader. He was our senior captain. As Herb said earlier, he was tough. He was the best defender around. And although Herb never let him shoot, and I did, in his senior year, he developed into somewhat of a scorer for me. Mike Bayer was only a sophomore, but already he was our go-to guy on offense. You could see early on, even his freshman year, that Mike was going to be an outstanding player at Kansas Union. Willie was strong inside. He was our shot blocker. There wasn't anybody that could take the ball in the lane, and even though he was only 6'4", he played 6'7" or 6'8". And besides being a good shot blocker, he was also an excellent shooter. So we just stepped him outside anytime we wanted for a 15 to 16 footer. Larry Doctor came to us as an excellent shooter. He could pop the 15 footer and help us break zone whenever we needed him. Elmer, besides his $2 remark on the film, was an excellent defender. But also, the one thing that Elmer could do is that he could shoot the ball from the 20 to 25 range. He had trouble with layups. I think Barry was the key addition to the team that year. He was the catalyst. He was the guy that could take the ball and go coast to coast. He could go baseline to baseline. He made us go. He was the guy that could shoot. He was not only a good shooter, but he was the guy that could break the press. And we needed that on that team that year. And he could also handle the fast break and dish the ball wherever we needed it to be. Brad Baum came to us from Illinois, my hometown, recommended by my high school coach. And the one thing that we saw was right early on is that he could defend, but he also made big free throws for us in the ball games. Didn't get a lot of playing time early in the season, but he came up big for us in the St. Benedict's game with free throws in the last 2 minutes. Lynn Ham, who's not here, was also a big player for us. Ham was our tallest guy, and he just played awfully tough inside for us. He was a good shooter for a big guy. And although he got fouled a lot, he could go to the line and knock down free throws. Paul Carney was a walker. Paul gave it 100% every night in practice. And by the time that the second year that he had played for us rolled around, he was promoted to a scholarship player. because he did that kind of effort for us. The other players on our team, Joe, Jack, and Mike, again, were basically players that helped us during practice. They helped push the other guys. They didn't play a lot. Most of the time that year, we played 6.5 people a game. But there's no question that they were a major part of the 1971 team. This team just enjoyed playing. They just had fun. It was an easy team to coach. It was not difficult. You didn't need a lot of strategy. You know, you needed a lot of basketballs. You know, because they all wanted to shoot. But the one thing about this team is that they all could shoot, and they all did score. And I think out of our 6 starters, and we always consider to have 6 starters, we had 5 of them averaging double figures, and the other one was almost in double figures. But the other thing about this team is that they never played nervous because they just enjoyed playing. So when we played St. Benedict, and we were the 4th seed, and Benedict was the number 1 seed, and they had All-American Chip Downey, we just put Jimmy Reed on Chip Downey, and through his tutelage of Herm Backrow, he could just beat the hell out of it. And we got out to the early interview, which we never relinquished the whole game. And I think it's oodles and oodles for our team. That's the way they were. They just didn't get nervous. And when we played Friends, who probably had the best talent around, they were a senior laden team, and they had beat us the first game of the year. We just didn't get nervous. As soon as we chipped, we got the lead. We led by 10 to 12 to 15 the whole game. Our guys never relented. Every time that they tried to make a run, Barry broke the press, and Mike and Willie and Elmer and Barry, they all scored. That's the kind of team that we were. We just didn't get nervous. It was a fun team to coach, there's no question about it. And then when we went on to Kansas City, and Dick was right in the film, we did play in front of 15,000 people. And when the game started, and the tip-off occurred, we played nervous. It was not the same team that was in the district. Whether it was the 15,000 people or sitting around all day and watching some of the great talent that was up there in the Kentucky days, I'm not sure. But the good news was that with this team, eventually they just started playing and having fun. And by the end of the game, with a minute to go, we were down 2 after being down 18 early in the first half. And we had a chance. We had a chance to win. This was a special team. Every one of these guys contributed. They were fun to coach. The season was special. The team was special. Thank Now, I'd like to ask you, Green, to say a few words. You were the captain of the team. Since this was our 4th year of intercollegiate athletics, you played 2 years for her, 2 years for me. I'd like for him to say a few words. Jim?
Well, it's 10:35. It's getting late. So, you know, this only happens once in a lifetime. Once in a lifetime. I hope all of you have that opportunity in a lifetime to come back and see people you haven't seen for years, and just pick up or So my good friend said, life is a relief. This is a relief. This is a special time. And, you know, one guy that always gave accolades out to other people. These are great guys on top of being great players. Their careers, Dr. Bears, all of you just went to really everyone here had wonderful careers. They're wonderful guys. There's one person never got the recognition, probably needs to get the recognition tonight. This is my chance to be with think all my teammates would agree, that we might have been a special team, but we had a special coach. Coach was Rick Rockford. He was super special. I know. And he's awesome. And never wanted anybody to say anything, but I'm telling you, you're a great friend. You're a great coach.
Very quickly, before this last presentation, the gentlemen get back to the seats. We would like everyone honored this evening, all of the honorable inductees. Mike's brother Ted was going to make this presentation, but was unable to attend. So for the second time this evening, we have the unique opportunity for a son to have a chance to present his father, Taylor Taylor.
I won't take up too much of your time. But you all know my father for the tremendous basketball player he was. He's also an amazing father. He raised my sister Ashley and me by himself and never missed a beat. Never missed a beat. He coached both of our sports teams, all while being one of the top orthopedic surgeons in California. He touched so many lives with the free wheelchair mission and will continue to do so for so many years. If you guys get a chance, in mid-April, he's going to ride his bike across the country, pulling a wheelchair behind him from New York to California. So log on to the website, and there should be some updates about that. And me and my buddies are placing bets if he's going to make it. So we all know he's going to make it. But I never got a chance to watch my dad at Newman play, but I know how tough he was every time he took me out back and took it to me. I know I'll never admit it, but I know I took a couple games off of him. I know no one is as proud of my father as I am. Without further ado, my hero, my father, my everything, my dad.
I wasn't expecting that introduction, but thank you, Tyler. That's the emotional time that people weren't expecting to see. Anyway, I had a great time here at Greenland, and I've had this week to reflect on it. And I had a great education, and played some great basketball. But what means the most to me coming back is the people that I met and played with when I was here, and the teachers that I had. And found out how many people really cared about me during my education. Got Sister Thomasine donating everything for me. Dr. Singh helping me through those science classes, writing me great letters of recommendation to go back to school. And there's so many other people. There's Brett Corners I played chess with, who's an accounting professor in the class in accounting. He became a good friend of mine. I remember him beating me every other week. But we kept playing and kept having a lot of fun. Father Welk, the last time I saw him, it's the happiest day of my life. He married me to a girl of my dreams in a little town outside Garden City. After that, I thought I would play basketball afternoon. I had offered to try out for the Trailblazers. I had 2 different contract deals to go to Europe to try to play. And God had a different plan for me. And long story short, I ended up getting a chemistry degree at KU and graduated KU Medical School 2 years later. And then basketball came back in my favor again when I interviewed top program in Western Mississippi, orthopedic surgery at UCLA. And no one from Kansas had ever been accepted at UCLA before. And I got an interview with the team physician for the UCLA Bruins. And I was used to getting all kinds of tough questions in these interviews up and down the state. But when I got in there with him, he wanted to know why I got a D in the grade efforts, and I had to explain to him that Reinberg promised me that I'd get a B if I just showed up for class. But, he was pretty impressed with me being an All-American, and fortunately he was the team physician. He got on the phone and got me 2 tickets to see the Bruins that night. We ended up spending an evening together. I ended up at UCLA. And that was a great place for me. And we had the opportunity to do research. Unfortunately, not in my own time. And there wasn't much of that left after working in 100-hour weeks. But I did a couple of papers that helped to elucidate complex fractures of the elbow in children. I also did a rotator cuff paper before I started working on the research on how to do arthroscopic subacromial decompression for rotator cuff disease. And it's a challenging thing to do. It's never been done before. And worked out the procedure in the cadaver lab on my spare time. And now I'm proud to say that it's the most common surgery performed in the United States on the shoulder today. And so I really didn't know what I was going to do after that.